Welcome. I'll be introducing the fundamentals of binary math and subnetting. And if you're like many CCNA and CCENT candidates, when you hear the words binary math, you start exhibiting some major physical symptoms. Some people sweat profusely. Some people have migraines, tunnel vision, or visibly shake and tremble. Doesn't matter. Because I'm going to tell you point blank, I have taught this to many people, and I'm going to teach you how to do this. There's really no big secret to it at all. And when I'm done with these basics, all you will need is a pencil and your brain, and you are golden on any Cisco exam or in real life. Many people just overcomplicate this particular topic because of the name of it. Binary math. It holds a mystique. The fact that it's composed of ones and zeros will give you a hint. The mathematics involved is very simple. Big deal. Guess what? After I'm done showing you how this is done, you're going to look at me and go, "Is that it?" And yes, that will be it. It is harder to keep a running tabulation of your grocery bill in your head and calculate the taxes than it is to do this binary math. I guarantee it. It is not some big, hairy, scary monster. It is simple math. It is actually easy to do. This is my rah-rah speech to you. I want you guys to be pumped. I guarantee that if you go about this the way that I say to, you will find any subnetting topic that Cisco throws at you easy to do. In fact, you'll probably ask for more of these questions because here there is no gray area. This is one area of Cisco stuff where if you just practice this, it's like old-time high school. If you do a little homework, you will get straight A's with this. I guarantee it. You'll like it. And you should do this because you'll impress anyone who tries to throw you in an interview. Say you're going for that big junior Cisco admin position, and they throw you subnetting questions, you'll breeze through it. And they'll know you're a brain. I'm going to show you how to do this. And on exam day, you will be amazed at how easy this is. Even if you hate decimal math, you will find this much more straightforward. After this, we're going to walk through the basics, and the basics are what everything is built on. And I know you're going to hear me say this over and over. The basics are important to everything. But it amazes me how many admins are actually weak on the basics. And that is the beginning of stupid. I'm sorry, it is. If you choose to forget basics, that's just stupid. Do not work hard to master all of this stuff to pass an exam, then just forget it. You need this. In fact, if you work with me, I'll expect you to not only remember it, but to grow and get better at it. After passing the first basic exam, most admins just quit. They start letting go of all that good basic theory that they just learned, and memory fades. They give up. They're done. They say, "Yeah, I'm going to go for my CCNP," but they don't. They've got their big admin position, and that's good enough, right? Well, it wouldn't be so bad if they at least would remember their basic training, but they don't. It leaks out of their ears. They give up. They're done. After all, they know how to log into a switch, right? They know how to Google, right? They can use iOS help, right? Wrong. Because that's not going to be you, is it? Because you're going to go all the way to CCNP and CCIE, and you will not forget this, right? Even if you don't get right to that CCNP, you need these basics just to do your job well. You need to keep this stuff close to you. It will let you appear so smart. And the fact is that when you master this stuff, you can answer any question that Cisco asks you in any exam on subnetting. And Cisco will ask you because they ask everybody. Once you learn this and you keep this, you will be a subnetting expert. There is no area in networking that normally causes so much fear in wannabe admins, especially admins who are weak on fundamentals like subnetting. If you are weak on fundamentals like binary, before you go into the exam, you are in trouble before you even get there. The key is here, where you may have been nervous before this and you say, gosh, I hope they don't ask me a question on subnetting. After you know this cold, you'll be begging them to give you more subnetting questions. Because these questions, no gray area. You know it, you know the answer. You're going to see how easy this is. And when you throw away the charts, some of these guys try to train you subnetting through tricky charts, special numbers, magic octets. Chuck it. Just learn to do the math and you're good. Just learn to do it. I've had people say to me, I had no idea. I had no idea it was this simple, because it is. You've just got to practice it a little bit. Make it like tying your shoes. I'm telling you. This is why I start my training with this. If you make this reflex like tying your shoes, you're good. You are golden. This is what is considered hard. It is considered scary, and it's not. It's simple. So just make it a part of you, because it's easy, and keep it close. Don't forget it. You can answer any subnetting question anywhere. You just need a pencil and your brain. So we're going to talk about subnetting basics and why we do it in the first place. Why do we have to subnet to begin with? We've learned the network masks for the major classes, the A, B, and C networks. You'll see more and more reasons of why we subnet, but the biggest reason is just simply IP conservation. Then we're going to get into looking at some calculations and formulas which may come into play in our exam, but they'll definitely come into play for the real world, no doubt about it. We get asked these questions, and that's why we're going to go over calculating the number of valid subnets and valid hosts. Sometimes, though, the situation is we're coming in behind another consultant and we end up troubleshooting after someone is no longer there. So part of troubleshooting is being able to just look at a single IP address that I give you along with a mask and ask you, what subnet is that on? And you have to be able to tell. This is part of passing your exam, and it's definitely important for the real world. Now, you can't just say to me, hey, I've got 36 valid IP addresses. Well, what are they specifically, and what range are they a part of? Or are they the entire range? Can you tell me? What can you tell me? You must be able to analyze this situation and speak about it intelligently. You need to be able to calculate the number of valid IP addresses in a given subnet and the range of addresses that are associated with it. I'm going to be showing you how to do this. And we're going to then tie it all together with a section that we call meeting the stated design requirements. Now, this is what the client needs and what you do to meet that need. And I want you to look at it this way. If the client knew what they needed, they would not need you. So you've got to be able to say, this is what you asked for. This is what I'm giving you. This is what I'm designing for you. And it all comes back to ones and zeros, folks. It all comes back to a decimal to binary or binary to decimal conversion. So, moving into this, what is the big secret to doing binary math? Believe it or not, this material's really what got me started with the whole wanting to teach this in the first place. Back when I was first beginning to learn this, I did probably what most of you guys are doing. And you're busy teaching yourself a lot of the basics, or trying to, and it can be overwhelming because Cisco covers a lot of material. And the bottom line is you do also have to teach yourself, because in the end of it all, nobody else is going to be there taking an exam or standing in front of the customer. You're going to be the one who wants to know. You've got to have the answers. So you'd better be teaching yourself every step of the way. By the time you're a CCIE, you're the guy that Cisco's going to for answers, believe it or not. They'll give you a piece of new equipment and they'll ask you what you think of it or what the problems are that you notice. But anyway, when you're beginning, it's overwhelming. And I actually found the way that a lot of it was presented to be backwards, very, very arduous. Like, I was amazed they would preface a huge, huge book with esoteric technical data. All the first chapters, it'd be the easier stuff. Now, we're all intelligent people, or we wouldn't be here. You're probably considering a career of networking if it isn't your career already. The thing that got wearying about it is they were all saying that at every step of the way, every instructor you ever see or hear or run into, they'll tell you how you've got to absolutely know this material. And I was finding that every step of the way I went through, they said, you have got to know this cold or you will not pass your exam. And it's essentially true. To be competent and to get a good grade, you do need it all. But the thing is, by the time you got to the really hard stuff, because you're new at it and you're throwing yourself at it with complete gusto, by the time you get into the later sections where it's like heavier theory, you're burnt. Well, this comes from trying really, really hard, and of course I did what everybody else did. I just pushed and kept pushing no matter what. By the time I got to something like this topic of subnetting and access lists and summarization routes and OSPF and EIGRP and stuff like that, because you're being told every step of the way it's all utterly vital, and it kept getting more and more theoretically deep, you're toast. So, what I'm doing is I'm filtering this stuff out and lining it up my way. I'm setting it up in neat lines so you can shoot it down, and I'm hitting you with the supposedly hard stuff while you're fresh. Because in my opinion, the time that you should hit this is when you are fresh. It may be esoteric, it may be out of left field, you may have never heard of it before, but like I said, we're all intelligent people here. I just want it to be more like a downhill trip than an uphill trip. I don't want you to climb some little hill, think you're getting to the end of it when you get to the top of it, and then you see just a bigger hill right in front of you. Another one to go down and back up. Hard stuff first, easier stuff by the end. It's all important. Take it as a given. Yeah, you should memorize it all. Absolutely. But I'm trying to streamline the learning of this. I want you to get the core concepts. Suppose you're not getting certified right away. Suppose you want to learn key concepts so you grasp it right now and can digest it for a while. Suppose you're just trying to get a job and qualify technically. That's what this is about. It's all a lot of work. Later on, I want it to be just vocabulary you're learning. But this stuff is key that I'm showing you at the beginning. Usually, when people, like I said, they first begin to approach this topic of binary math, they're very tense. It's like they're being brought to the electric chair. Yet once they're shown, they all tend to go, is that it? People relax as they learn this. Here's the big deal. It's just easier to learn the binary math in the first place than to learn any tricks to get past doing it. Forget all the goofy magic octets, special number charts, etc. You'll be amazed at how simple. In fact, I'm going to give you a pre-binary math preparation test. I'm going to show you what you need to learn this. If you can pass this little test that I'm going to give you, take a look on the screen here. If you can pass this, you are good. Here, do you know what those symbols mean? Plus, minus, and equals. If you answered yes, that's good. Can you double 1 7 times in a row? Let's see, can you do this? You go 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, let's go a little higher just in case, 256, oh we're really pushing it now, 512. Can you do that? You are gold.